Can ants survive in outer space?
Did you know that some tiny astronauts have 6 legs? You might be thinking about small robots or creatures from another planet, but I'm actually talking about ants. These little insects can do something huge, survive in space. Yes, you heard that right. NASA sent ants to the International Space Station to study how microgravity affects their ability to work together. The ants were kept in special containers so they wouldn't float away, and scientists watched how they moved and organized without gravity. The cool thing is, the ants still use their teamwork skills to search their new area, showing they could adapt to the space environment. While humans need fancy suits and spacecraft to survive out there, ants proved to be pretty tough on their own. They didn't build ant hills or find food like back on Earth, but they showed that even in space, they could keep doing their ant things. Who would have thought that these tiny explorers could teach us big lessons about life beyond our planet?
What if I told you your eyes have their own palette?
Get ready to see the world in a new light. Literally. Our eyes are like living paintbrushes, painting our surroundings with colors we see every day. But did you know that not everyone paints with the same number of colors? Most of us have 3 types of color receptors in our eyes called cones. They help us see red, blue, and green, and the combinations of these give us the rainbow of colors we know. But some people have a superpower. They have an extra type of cone and can see a whole range of colors invisible to the rest of us. They are called tetrachromats. It's like they have a secret color palette with up to 100 million colors, while many of us see just around or fewer than 1 million. Just imagine a sunset or a garden through their eyes. It's like looking at the world with extra special effects. While we can't add more cones to our eyes, it's fascinating to think that what we see is just a fraction of the beauty in our colorful world.
A snail's home is a real-life construction marvel?
Get ready to shrink down and take a close look at a snail's home. It's way cooler than you might think. Snails are like tiny architects that carry their homes on their backs. You've seen it, right? But have you ever wondered how these little guys build such perfect spirals? It's not like they have tiny tools or anything. Here's the secret. A snail's shell grows right along with it from the day it's born. They use calcium and other minerals from the stuff they eat to make their shells stronger and bigger as they grow. And that spiral? It's all math. Each round of the spiral is a precise mathematical curve known as a logarithmic spiral. A snail's shell is nature's geometry lesson. The coolest part is that this pattern isn't just a snail thing. You can find it in galaxies, hurricanes, and even sunflower seeds. So next time you find a snail, give a little nod to the master builder cruising with a natural wonder on its back. Snails don't just go slow. They go slow with style.
Whales got the ocean's deepest voice, but why?
Imagine the deepest voice you've ever heard. Now, dive deeper and imagine a sound that can travel across entire oceans. This isn't just any singer or a giant underwater speaker. We're talking about the majestic blue whale. Blue whales make calls at frequencies as low as 15 hertz, and these sounds can be heard up to 1,000 miles away under the sea. That means a whale off the coast of California might send a hello that reaches Hawaii. But why do they need such a long-distance line? Well, it's all about communication. In the vast ocean, finding a buddy or a mate isn't exactly easy, so these immense creatures rely on their powerful voices to reach out over huge distances. And why so low? Low-frequency sounds don't just travel farther. They also keep their oomph better as they go. So the next time you're near the ocean, think about the invisible whale chatter crisscrossing the deep blue. It's like they have their own social network, and it's been around long before the internet or even telephones.
Robo-bees could be the future buzz in Tech Town.
Okay, but what if I told you that scientists are designing tiny robots that can fly like bees? Sounds like a sci-fi movie, right? Well, it's actually happening. These little machines, called robo-bees, are being developed to do things like pollinate plants, search for disaster survivors, and even spy in risky areas. They're as small as real bees, with wings that buzz super fast. But here's the kicker. These robo-bees can't make honey, and they don't have stingers, so no worries about getting buzzed at your picnic. Why create robo-bees, though? Real bees have tough jobs and their numbers are going down. So, if one day there aren't enough bees around, robo-bees could help us pick up the slack to keep our crops and flowers blooming. The idea is still in its early stages, and it's going to take some more tech magic to get these bots buzzing around on their own. However, it's a real example of how looking at nature can inspire us to make cool new gadgets. Technology mimicking nature? That's some next level buzz.
Plants in space, can they grow without gravity?
Ever thought about how astronauts get their greens in space? You might wonder if plants can grow without gravity, or do they just float around like everything else up there? Well, space farmers, buckle up. Scientists have found that plants can grow in space. They don't need gravity to sprout and reach for the stars. Instead of gravity, they use light to know which way to grow. This is called phototropism. On the International Space Station, astronauts are growing leafy veggies and even flowers. This isn't just so they can enjoy a fresh salad, which is pretty cool, by the way, but it's also important for long space voyages in the future. Think Mars missions and beyond. Plants don't just provide food, they create oxygen and make the air fresher, which is super important when you're surrounded by nothing but the vacuum of space. Up there, they use special lights to guide the growth of these cosmic crops, so they don't just tumble around. Growing plants in space, that's one small step for man, one giant leap for plant kind.
Can a beach wave be frozen?
Imagine you're walking along a beach in the middle of summer. The sun is shining, the waves are crashing, and everything is normal. But what if you come back in the dead of winter? You might see something super strange that seems like it's straight out of a movie. Waves that are frozen in midair. Sounds unbelievable, right? But this actually happens at some beaches. This unusual phenomenon occurs in very cold places where the temperature drops so fast that the waves don't have time to go back into the sea before they freeze. It's like someone pressed the pause button on the ocean itself. These icy waves look like sculptures and can be found in places like the coasts of Antarctica or near the North Pole. The sight is so surreal that it makes you wonder if you've suddenly gained the power to freeze time. Just don't try to surf on these frozen waves, or you might end up with a cold surprise.
Can you guess the super strong stomach?
Have you ever wondered which animal can eat almost anything without getting a tummy ache? It's not a shark, a bear, or even a human with a big appetite. It's a bird. But no ordinary bird. Meet the bearded vulture, also known as the lammergeier. This bird is so tough, it can eat bones, and its stomach can even digest them. That's right, bones make up about 70% to 90% of its diet. The bearded vulture's stomach acid is super powerful. It has a pH level of almost 1, the same as our stomach acid after we've vomited. This means it can break down bones in just about 24 hours. Imagine if we tried that. We'd definitely end up with a bad case of indigestion. But for the bearded vulture, it's just a regular lunch. Plus, its love for bones is actually good for the environment. It cleans up carcasses left in nature, which helps prevent the spread of disease. Isn't it amazing that what seems impossible for us is just a walk in the park or a flight over the mountains for these incredible birds?
What animal can hold its breath for a week?
Imagine taking a deep breath and holding it not just for a minute, or even 10, but for an entire week. That might sound impossible for humans, but there's one animal that can do exactly this. Let's talk about the astonishing abilities of the turtle. Specifically, we're discussing the Fitzroy River turtle, which has a superpower that seems straight out of a comic book. While we require oxygen and have to breathe regularly, this incredible species of turtle can stay underwater for up to 7 days without coming up for air. How do they manage that? Well, they've got a special trick up their shells. These amazing creatures have adapted to their aquatic environment by developing an unusual way to breathe. They can absorb oxygen directly from the water through a process known as cloacal respiration. In other words, they breathe through their rear ends. Yes, that's right. This special adaptation allows them to extract the oxygen they need from the water around them, so they can stay submerged for a very long time. It's certainly a unique survival strategy, and it shows just how diverse life on our planet can be.
Ever wondered how fast elephants can run?
Elephants are huge, right? So you might think they're slow, but you'll be shocked. These giant animals can run up to 25 miles per hour. That's faster than us humans on a regular day. And you know what? They're really good at swimming too. They use their big trunks like snorkels. Imagine seeing an elephant snorkeling in the water. Nature is full of surprises. Follow me for more fun facts.